Hello, good evening, and welcome to the LFC Daytrippers. It is our sixth episode of the year of full-time Reds. Our European adventure starts in the Europa League once again. We went to Linz, Austria. It finished 1 to Linz, 3 to Liverpool. 3 points in the bag get started in our group. I'm joined tonight by the regular gang, Chris Brack, and back by popular demand, Kev O'Sullivan.
From one
Kev, how you doing? How you feeling?
Not too bad. Not too bad. A lot better than last night. Last night was tough, man. Got through last night was really, really tough. But no, it's a lot better today. Delighted with the result. And a lot of the performances as well. But look, got a result away from home against the side who seeded second. Won comfortably enough in the end. A lot of positives to take out of that. So happy enough, yeah.
Excellent. And Chris, seems like the game might have put you to sleep a little bit there.
The first half did. But yeah, look, I'm a bit like Kev. Got the result and got out of it pretty much fairly unscathed. And it's a pretty standard European away, especially in Europa League, UEFA Cup. That's kind of what we see. And Klopp getting his 50th European win, which is all good.
Yeah, the most ever by a Liverpool manager, which is a testament to his consistency over these last few years, as well as the team. But
three less games than Rafa as well, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, Rafa Benitez. So, I mean, I think for me the biggest talking point was perhaps going to be the lineup. It could have been just about anything. I think this might have been the hardest lineup to try to predict. I think I got about half of them right in the end. It comes out, Kelleher gets the nod in goal. Feels like that's something that might have been pre-agreed on at going into the start of the season with Kelleher sticking around. Stefan Bajcetic comes back for his first game since last season, playing in at right back. Kanate back from his injury. Virgil back from his suspension. Tsimikas.
Just here. Yeah, let's leave it at that. He's just here.
Poor Slipikas. We have a midfield three made up of Harvey Elliott with his first start of the season, Endo getting his second start, Ryan Gravenberch getting his first start for Liverpool. Speaking of first starts, a very first senior start for Ben Doak on the right wing, and Darwin Nunez and Luis Diaz come in to fill out the front line. 11 changes. Chris, were you expecting 11 changes from Wolves on Saturday?
No, I was already saying we'd probably go quite strong, only because I saw the squad, and I kind of thought, if you're taking that many of the big boys away with you, I assume you're starting them. Otherwise, for some, you're a bit like, I'd rather they sat on the bench. Sat at home and rested. You know, did you really need Ali to go there and sit at the bench? You probably could have had, the reserve lad. But me and Kev were talking about it early today. Said maybe because this is Klopp 2.0, maybe this is also a bit of a team bonding, team ethic, building that sort of new team bond, so that we're all in it together, sort of thing. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I must admit, 11 changes I always think is a bit wild, and I think that played into a sloppy first half, because while all of them have played quite a bit for Liverpool, with the exception of Gravenberch and Doak, I don't think that back four's ever played together. That midfield three has never played together, and I think that front three have played together maybe once, but never as a start. So it's just a lot of new relationships to play on the pitch. Very young right hand side, but as me and Kev will talk about later, it's minutes in the bank and it's really good experience. Tough nights actually sort of help you develop as a player, not the easy ones. So take it for what it is. Good win.
Absolutely. And what caught your attention the most out of lineup, Kev? Which one of those names on the team sheet?
I was delighted. I wanted to see Stefan at right back to see what would happen when he was transitioning from right back into midfield, because we saw last season he could play as a 6, he could play in the 8 role, and he came through the club as a defender, as a centre back. So can he evolve his game to become that right back option if we needed to rest Trent in games to come into midfield? Overall, I thought he did okay, considering it was his first start in a long time, and it told with a lot of them. A lot of them need the minutes, and the only way they're going to get the minutes is by playing in the cup competitions. So you have to use them. Obviously, you need to win the games. First and foremost, you have to win the games. But to be able to get match sharpness into that many players away from home is brilliant. I was absolutely delighted with the starting lineup. It was the kind of starting lineup I was hoping for. But I was like Chris. I thought as soon as I saw that Ali went, Salah went, McAllister went, I thought, okay, he's going to go out and make sure we get this game won, and then make changes on the other. So I was absolutely delighted when I saw that he made the changes that he made, and he gave first starts, debuts, minutes, much needed minutes to a lot of players. I was over the moon with it.
Yeah, it's great to get those players that have been out of the squad even for a short amount of time or a long amount of time back up to speed. And there's one thing coming on, Gravenberch getting the last 10 minutes or whatever it was against Wolves. It's one thing to, get your very first appearance, but it's different going right from the start and having to be the players that imprint our game plan onto the opposition. And didn't really work out so great. I mean, not a ton of talking points really up until their goal. Kind of flitted in and out. Like Gravenberch, I thought throughout the entire first half was peaks and valleys for me. Like I don't know if you saw the same thing, Chris, where he made 3-4 just blind passes into midfield. It's just a straight giveaway. But then 2 minutes later, he's getting the ball, turning, driving upfield. He's got his head up and he looked sprightly, but then would go back down again.
Yeah, it was glimpses. You were kind of watching, going, "I was definitely a player in there," But he looked pretty rusty. I mean, the goal came from ultimately a Liverpool mistake. Harvey Elliott looks like he does a good control, and it's always like between him and the centre, they go Jaws, and this is probably the communication thing of they haven't started many games together recently, and which leads to the corner. And look, we're going to talk about the corner. Give them credit. It's a great route. It's a really good routine. They had two people blocking Gravenberch and Diaz, so they can't get out to the guy at the end of the box. The first touch he does kills it, and then it's a great hit. Really good hit. If you do, roles reverse, that was us. You'd be going, that's a great routine. From a Liverpool point of view, it's like it's a sloppy corner, it's a slow start. We should be expecting blockers. It's a bit frustrating. I was kind of hoping that goal would wake us up, but I'll be honest, we were just a bit lethargic all first half. It didn't really get going, but give them credit. That's a really good goal. Sometimes you have got to hold your hands up a little bit and go, it's a good hit, that.
Yeah. You can't have too many complaints when a shot like that goes flying into the net. I don't know on your guys' feed. On mine, when Elliott took that ball down, the commentator was like, "And what a touch by Elliott!" Oh wait, no, it's not. And it just got stuck in that half space where nobody committed to get it.
It was almost brilliant, wasn't it? It was one of those things. It was like
look,
just a sigh all the way through it.
It's where match sharpness comes in, and awareness and sensing danger. Plus, you're playing against a side you've never seen, you've never played against before. In the Premier League, you know the players you're playing against, you know where their strengths are, and you know what to expect. It's one of those things when you come up against sides in Europe that you never face, that you have to be aware of these things, and that always comes from match sharpness and experience. Elliott should have realised straight away, and Endo's not getting to that. And Endo should have made sure that if Elliott's not getting there, the man's not getting past me. But it doesn't matter what happened there. Once it's gone out for a corner, you've reset. So you're in a position to do something. It was actually 3 runners. There was 4 on the edge of the box. 3 ran in, and 1 stood back. And the touch away onto his right foot and bang, great. Gravenberch has to do better coming out, and he has to make himself bigger to block the shot. And if he gets hurt in the process, what about it? At the end of the day, that's what he has to do better than that. But throughout the first half, the passing was off. Knowing where players are going to run before they run, so you can make your pass, the accuracy. If you're going to play through the middle like we do, your passing has to be really accurate and really crisp. And it wasn't. It was slightly off. But it was slightly off for the whole half. And that led to attacks breaking down in bad areas. So once that happened, you're playing yourself into trouble. Saying that, bar their shot in the first half for their goal, they didn't do anything else. They didn't punish us in any way, shape, or form. It's just that we never got. I never felt that we were in control, even though the possession stats say that we were in control of the first half. It never felt like that for me. But saying that, for all of that, we still had some decent half chances in that first half. And another day, someone follows that cross in from Ben Doak, where he was really good. He was bright, taking on his fullback, turned him inside out a couple of times, got some good balls across the box. Gambling strikers should be expecting him to beat his fullback and get across, like for that one that he put across especially. And the other one, I mean, Nunez header, you can look at it and say, yeah, great save. And it was a really good save. Man on the line behind the keeper as well. Good defending, well set up. But, they're the half chances you need to put away when things aren't going your way to settle things down.
So if that's not a Liverpool game, so if we're watching Arsenal and Gabriel does that, none of us are saying great save. We're all saying, what the fuck is Gabriel doing? Put your head through it. If we're being honest, when you saw it, you were like, goal. That's a goal all day. And he's like, oh, but I kind of summed Liverpool up. It was just a lot of nearly moments. But to be fair to Darwin, I actually thought he was probably the most consistent across all for the 90 minutes. I thought he at least gave us something to hit. And most times I thought actually he kept the ball quite well. I thought his interplay was okay first half, but second half it was much, much better. I mean, so was the team, to be fair. So, like you said though, at least with Darwin, even when he misses a chance like that, it doesn't put him off. He just goes for it again. He doesn't really shirk and hide for it, which is what you want, really. Because like you said, Diaz was very quiet first half.
Yeah, he had a few moments, I thought, where he was able to pick the ball up on that left side and kind of cut into the middle and drag the defenders with him and get their defense pulled a little bit out of shape. The one that got missed over, I mean, the save from Darwin, that's about 36 minutes, but like right after they score, we respond. That's when Doak whips that ball across the box that nobody's there to put in. And a couple minutes after that, Harvey Elliott finds himself like playing left midfield, and he gets his head up and he sees Darwin make a run, and he puts a inch perfect ball into the middle of the box for Darwin, and he's got to put it on target. Goes over.
Yeah, he should at least get it on target. And to fair to Darwin, that's one of his strengths. His heading is really good. So yeah, so
two-headed goals against Man United in the 7-0. So there's our required mention of the 7-0.
But a lot of that was why I was really relaxed at halftime. Is because look, we'd restricted them to half chances at best. And we were dominating the ball. You knew eventually it would pay off. That we would work a chance and get a goal back, and it was only a matter of time. Klopp made a few adjustments at halftime, and the players almost took the shackles off and really went for it in the second half. But I was fairly relaxed at halftime. Didn't expect any changes. It was like a case of, look, you lot got us into this mess. It's up to you to get us out of it. This is a responsibility that's on your shoulders now. It's not good enough to just turn around and say, yeah, you're new at the club, or, you haven't played in a while. It doesn't matter. You've got a shirt on. You're playing for Liverpool. You're away in Europe against a side you should be beating. It's up to you to put it right. And I was glad he didn't, almost break the glasses and hit the button and say, okay, Endo is not really working for you. Gravenberch's not really working for you. I'm going to whip you two off, and we'll go to our tried and trusted. I thought, no, he gave him a chance to put it right. And I think that was the right call.
Yeah, and it seemed like I came into the halftime break. I mean, just before the halftime break, the referee decides that he didn't hit his quota for yellow cards, and just
he went out card happy, didn't he?
3 yellow cards in about 2.5 minutes or something like that. I mean, Konate really talked himself into one, so hopefully he didn't swear at him.
Well, Konate did the thing, which was the usual. Say your piece to the ref. He says no, and then that's it. But he just kept going. It's like, don't keep biting, because especially in Europe, you'll get a booking for that. And Bajcetic was he got played into trouble, and then it's a panic tackle, isn't it? So Barry Davis said, just joining. Has Chris Brack slagged Simicast off yet? No, not yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. Fucking.
I know.
At the half, though, I mean, I thought LASK would have been over the moon with their performance. They defended compactly enough, and like you were saying, Kev, like we never really had an extended spell of possession where we were cycling the ball around the back, trying to probe for those openings. The chances that we had kind of came on the break. They were kind of snap chances, sort of thing. They were very solid and composed at the back. They scored their wonder goal. They had their look at goal. They put it in the back of the net. They had the lead. Their stadium sounded great, by the way. I mean, good for them with a nice new stadium there in Linz. Out of the Liverpool players, though, I thought Virgil van Dijk had a couple of moments defending in the first half that looked so good. So good. Just calm, coming over, using his size, shepherding the ball out. Covered for Konate at one point. when a foul isn't called and all of a sudden they have a 3-on-2 break right at the edge of our box and Virgil just goes over. The interception is so good, it doesn't even go out for a corner, it goes out for a throw-in. Endo, I see there, somebody asked what we made of Endo. Chris, what did you make of Endo's performance in the first half and the game in general?
Steady. I think that's what he is. He's just a steady Eddie. He isn't quick, but look, he mops up. He's tidy on the ball. He's just kind of a bog standard number 6. Kind of what you want him to do, really. Endo wasn't the problem in the first half. It was the players you expect to do a bit more with the ball, be a bit more flair with the ball, which is really slow. And also, I think coming out from the back, we were just in general slow. So when he's getting the ball past him, it's snail's pace. So he's got nothing to roll off or turn. So Endo, for me, every time I've seen him play, the couple times I've seen him play, is like, yeah, he looks fine, looks solid. Nothing more, nothing less.
He seems to use his body very well. He does a really good job of trapping the ball at his feet and using his body to shield the defenders off in the middle of the park. And he had one in the second half where he absolutely got his pocket picked, dilly-dallying on the ball. Kev, what did you make of Bacic in the first half playing that right back inverted role?
He looks more comfortable when he gets into midfield. You could tell it's the first time he's probably ever played right back in his life. But I think it's a position he can learn. Someone who definitely showed, like, yeah, I haven't played football in a long, long time. And this is all brand new to me, so I'm learning. But that's all I made of it. I just looked at him. I thought, yeah, you're definitely a work in progress here. I still wouldn't be coming down hard on any of him.
I do think that there are signs there with him. We think long term, he be more comfortable to if you're going to keep doing this inverted fullback, he looks like he'd be a lot long term more comfortable doing that as a Trent backup than, to be fair, Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez is good if you're going to play as a traditional right back or as a centre back. I felt that does. I think he's got the tools and the versatility. I think it will suit him more.
Yeah. I mean, and he made a tackle in the second half that's exactly the type of slide tackle you want a player playing in the middle of the park to be able to make. I mean, it was textbook perfect slide tackle, gets the ball, gets up, and gets us driving forward again. Like, Kev, do you think it's the way forward with Bacic, especially with the injuries to Connor Bradley, of not having that natural right back to fill in and do Trent's thing? Because we seem like we're going with the system. Like, it seems that 3-box-3 is the way we're going forward. You think he's going to get an extended run there? Maybe because also the midfield minutes market is so competitive at the moment for us?
I think there's a shirt there to be had. And he could definitely make it his own. Long term, I could definitely think he could be a proper option there. And you still got to remember, he's only a kid. He's only really young. He's still learning his game. He's still learning about what he's able to do. So he looks really good. And the more minutes he plays in the position, the more comfortable he's going to be. I want to see him in the next leg at home in the same position. I want to see him in the League Cup playing in that position. And ask again in 6 months' time. See what he can offer in 6 months. You can't judge anything on 60 minutes or 70 minutes. But you can definitely see in what you saw last season that he's technically a good midfielder, and it's just the rest of the position that requires. I think to do this role properly, you have to be really switched on and really defensively aware, and hopefully that's something that he can learn over time. But we
saw the benefit though.
I think
we did see the benefit of him for the equaliser, though, didn't we? Playing that inverted role, because that's where you saw his midfield. His midfielding at his best. The Nous, him and Elliott, it's lovely link-up play to lead up to it. So you could, I know what you're saying. I'm with you. Give him time. That could be his role. But, we did see some green shoots of what he can do.
Well, second half, we get into it. I thought we pretty much came out. It wasn't the stark change as it was from Wolves' first half to second half, but immediately in the second half, we get that sustained pressure where we're just getting the ball and recycling, and they're fending for their lives, kicking it back out. We're just getting the ball, bringing it back in again. We get a free kick. Tsimikas throws it in, a few more chances around the box, and then Bacic does such a good job. A little 1-2 with Harvey Elliott. He keeps on running, doing his best Andy Robertson from last week impersonation. kind of dinks the cross back out. What are our thoughts? Kev, is that a penalty?
100%. I don't see how it can't be. I mean, if you follow the logic that people say the ball was out of play, then I can 2-foot anyone on the knees as long as the ball's out of play. I can do whatever I like when the ball goes out of play because it's clearly not a foul. It obviously is a foul. When you saw where he caught him on his standing foot, he caught him shin high. He's lucky it was only a penalty that was given. You know, the ball was nowhere near him, and he mistimed his tackle, and he caught him in the shin. It's an absolute nailed-on penalty. I don't see what the discussion's about.
Yeah.
You were saying that the commentators on your feed said it wasn't a penalty. Jerry Armstrong was doing the commentary on ours, and he was, as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh my god, yeah, penalty, 100%." You know, I just can't for the life of me understand how someone could see that, where someone goes shin high on someone's standing foot in the penalty box and think that it's anything other than a penalty.
Yeah, it's Chris. I presume you can make this a unanimous consensus because I agree with what Kev said. Like you see where the defender comes down on his standing leg, and regardless of the fact that he's already kind of shanked the ball wide of the net, it's just a penalty, right?
I didn't think it was going to get given. Generally didn't. I saw it. I thought, and I think Ashley L got it right. He said, "I think we've all been brainwashed by how bad the Prem is." I looked at it and went, "You're never getting that." I just looked at. I saw it. I went, "Yeah, he has caught him after his shot, but we're never getting a pen for that." So when he gave it, I was like, "Oh, that's nice," because it's.
Yeah.
I don't think you see many of them given, and maybe that's the difference between Europe and the Premier League. You know, the Premier League will make some bullshit why it's not given, but I was made up it was given because it was a bit sustained pressure, and it's nice to see somebody else taking a penalty other than Mo Salah, because you want somebody else to take, not because I don't want Mo Salah to take a penalty, it's just, well, who's going to take the responsibility? Because I thought, if Mo's not taking it, you think it's normally Soboslai or it'd be McAllister, and you think, well, they're not on the pitch, so that's what you want. Your big number 9 going, I'll take the responsibility off. And fair play to Darwin, he absolutely nailed it. No keeper saving that. It's like, that is a brilliant pen.
Yeah, enough pace on it. It's an extended prancy run up, but he really puts his foot right through the back of the ball. But there was a point where Virgil had the ball and was standing over the spot, and it, like, I don't know who is our 4th or 5th designated penalty taker, because I would expect Trent would probably be up there with McAllister, Soboslai, and Mo to take the penalties. It's like, shit, who takes our penalties now? So
at first, my first thought was, I actually thought Diaz was going to take it. I just assumed he would, and I was like, "Oh, of course, Darwin would take it." Yeah, that thing Van Dijk does, that's becoming a bit of a thing Liverpool do in general, is the non-penalty taker just stands on the ball. So I think Virgil had all the lads kicking off at him saying it's not a penalty, and he stood there, and then the ref goes, penalty given, and then he just turns to Darwin and goes, "There you go, mate. There's your ball. Because you've not had them rabbit it in your ear. Go get yourself ready."
Yeah, it keeps them from shithousing and coming over and roughing up, the foot landing spot for the penalty or anything that.
I mean, looking at that pitch, I don't think it needed any help. It wasn't the best, was it?
And I mean, the number of players slipping and sliding in the second half, like the Linz players seemed like they were having some traction issues. Costa Simicast in the first half, he must have slipped, I think, 3 times, just nobody around him, ball being played out to him, and he just decides to fall over like Andre Onana. Any apprehension, Kev, watching Darwin step up and take that penalty?
You're always nervous because you're not used to him taking pens. You're always nervous for him. And I thought their keeper actually had a decent enough game. You know, he's a big lad. He covers the goal. He's a big unit, and he picked the right side. So credit to Darwin, he slotted into the corner, and that's good. It's a nice bit of confidence for him.
Do you remember his last pen for us though? It was against Derby in the shootout, and fuck me, he tried everybody could to miss it. It was the most
I don't remember it.
I've never seen in my life. So.
you were there, Chris?
No, my daughter was. My daughter and my dad were there. So
yeah, I was just happy it went in, and because for the sustained pressure that we built up in that first 10 minutes of the second half, it deserved it. We were playing some really good stuff, and you could tell the play was quicker, snapping into the tackles a bit harsher. And there was a one point in the second, you could tell the 2 fullbacks were going higher and wide, and we were leaving Konate and Virgil almost inside their half, saying, okay, no matter what happens, we're going to trust ourselves to outpace you, even if you play the ball over the top. And there was one instance where they played a ball over the top, and Kanate just ran back. He just swept it up back to Kelleher and brought it back out to Virgil on the other side and attacked again. So you could tell that was the main key difference from the start of from the first half to the second half, is that we were just a lot more aggressive, and we created more overloads in better areas.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the one play was with Darwin where he got the ball on the left-hand side about at the halfway line and just surveyed the situation and just kicked it 30 yards down the touchline and just torched his defender, like getting him behind. Like, the speed he has is absolutely fantastic. He gets his goal, though. Our forwards just keep scoring and scoring and scoring. We make the substitutions, first round of substitutions, triple subs. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gomez come on. Bacetic goes off, Ben Doak goes off, and Endo, Wataru make way as well. Looks like Harvey goes into the right wing position to fill in for where Doak was. Shortly thereafter, one of the strangest corner defenses I've ever seen. Like, Chris, could you make any sense of what the defense was thinking? Like, the ball comes in and everybody presumes that it's been headed out, but it's just lying on the ground.
It's like watching kids' football, isn't it? It's a classic Liverpool tactic, which is like, it's all right, lads, watch this now. They're all 3 yards offside, so it's okay. You know, thank fuck they were. But yeah, it was one of those things like, generally, where's the ball? Nobody knows where the ball was. It would have just been a typical Liverpool, that, wouldn't it? You know, we've just equalised and we give away the most comical goal. But I think it's not long after that we score.
It's almost immediately after that.
Yeah. And again, Darwin Nunez. That's what you want from your number 9. Picks it up, holds it, and then plays a brilliant ball down to Gravenberch, and it's a great first-time cross, and the Louis Diaz tap and finish. That is starting to become a bit of a trademark Klopp 2.0 goal. That it is. 9 comes in deep, gets it out wide, and Louis Diaz comes in at the back post, and it's a great finish. Keeper's no chance, and good for Gravenberch, you know, because it came off for him, the right move, which is what you want from your midfield. It's great, isn't it, Kev? Runners from midfield going past the striker. We didn't have that for a year. You may have to sit there going, well, what do you expect? None of our lads can run.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll be honest. There was flashes in what you saw in Gravenberch in the first half that you thought he's got something about him, this kid. But he's got to sharpen up. His defensive nous, his passing needs to be sharper. He needs to read the game a little bit. Be a bit more aware of players around him. That'll come. That'll all come. There was times when he turned players and just ran. And it was like watching Gakpo, you know, just open the legs and just go. Very similar to what Paul Pogba was when in his Juventus days. That left-sided 8 had a bit of freedom and could open his legs up and make things happen. You know, Gravenberch looks like that kind of player, that he'll be your attacking centre mid of a 3. You know, he can play a 10 if you want him to, but he can definitely play that attacking role. That ball to whip it off. Bearing in mind, it was his first start for Liverpool, and the fact that he hasn't really played meaningful football in a while, to still be doing that into the second half and have the awareness to first time that cross, inch perfect. That was quality. You know, that was real quality. You know,
yeah.
And the finish for Diaz to cut across his man. You know, the awareness. Yeah, I'm going to trust that he's going to be there. I'm going to make this run. So the run made the cross, but it was beautiful football. It was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough good about that goal that we're able to talk around it and still miss out on. Like, Harvey Elliott is involved in that goal as well. It's actually him that plays the ball down the channel into Gravenberch. But I thought it was very reminiscent to our third goal against Wolves, especially the Darwin Nunez part of it, where he wins his aerial battle. You know, he's got that defender pinned, spins, gets his head up, ball out wide, ball down into the channel, ball back into the box, ball into the back of the net. Brilliant. I mean, I was never really at any point in the game, even when we were 1-0 down, I don't think we played poorly enough to justify worrying about it. The 11 that were on the pitch were strong enough to beat LASK away in Austria. That's kind of proven in the pudding. And then you look at the strength of the bench of just like the ability to bring on Szoboszlai, McAllister, Mo Salah, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez. Those are all very, very strong changes. it just goes better and better. I mean, this is what 4 times this season we've gone a goal behind and come back and won all of those games. It's starting to become a little thing for us.
Brighton's
What else do we got here? Oh yeah, Mo Salah comes onto the pitch in the 74th minute and decides to put on a 15-minute skills and tricks demonstration. It felt like his touches could have been set to Euro techno music because, I mean, Chris, his first touch.
It was just his first touch. He just runs on the wing, does a little drag, gets him over, follow me, lads, drag back and flicks it past him and just goes, I'm too good for Europa League, and just rocks off. At least it was just 15 minutes of, I'll just take the piss. But it was effective because it still got his crosses, still got, he eventually gets his goal, but you were just going, you forget how, sometimes, I think we're so sport, you forget how good Mo Salah is. And you forget he's just different level.
No,
but
I've got a theory on this. Mo Salah is basically saying to the EA Sports content creators, you shouldn't be giving me a 3-star skill level in your game. He's a 5-star skiller. The man is he's just mustard, like, you know what I mean? The way he took that ball, dragged it onto his foot and passed it in one movement, he's ridiculous. He's a ridiculous footballer.
That outside of his left foot cross now is just becoming deadlier and deadlier.
He had 2 of them in his short little cameo at the end of this game. Like one pretty much after that little skill move when he first came on. And in the 80th minute, he had one from like Trent's position, like it was like a 35 yard raking back post one for Diaz where you could see it happening. Like their defense was coming in and Diaz was making that angled run and Mo got his head up and just outside of the left foot.
If we're speaking of breaking passes, because I generally think I'm starting to fall in love with him. Can we just talk about Szoboszlai? For 25 minutes he came on, and it's just a joy to watch, isn't it? Obviously, I'm not saying he's him, but Kev, you remember the Steven Gerrard days when he'd always pick a ball up in his own half, go, watch this, I was going to spray it. We've spoiled with Trent. We've got another lad who could just do it. But then he could also drive at them. He's got an eye for a pass. I think he's going to get a ruck of goals for us as well. He's just unreal. He just looks ridiculous.
I don't know what his best position is because I think he's brilliant in a 6-6.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely brilliant in the middle of the park where he could dictate everything. But then when you see what he can do on the edge of the box in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 as, an 8 who joins into the attack, he's been there 5 minutes. You know what I mean? He's been there 5 minutes. And I'm just delighted that Liverpool went and paid the buyout because if we dilly-dallied on that one, man, we would have missed out. We would have missed out bigly.
If he was wearing a Man City jersey, it would be excruciating. Yeah. If we'd have been linked with him and he'd have gone to Man City and filled in for De Bruyne when De Bruyne goes down injured. Oh, yeah. An incredible player.
One thing, James made a point there in the chat. Apparently, Gravenberch went off with cramp, which is understandable given the amount of ground he covered on the night. So yeah, look, if that's the way he went off, then fair enough. Don't mind that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of running for your first, meaningful minutes. Like I said, he had the 10 or 15 against Wolves at the end of the game, but to get almost a full 90, and that's absolutely wonderful to see.
I thought we were about to get a Real Madrid recreation. I thought Kev was going to get attacked by his dog. I was like, oh, God.
If I get attacked by my dog, mate, 4999.
I know, I've seen your dog. It's massive. It's like a freaking hell.
Yeah, but he just wants to play now. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to
3 minutes from the end. Speaking of wanting to play, I mean, Darwin Nunez and Mo Salah, effective, snappy press from the front, even with 3 minutes left to go. I mean, it's another one of those close pieces of skill and control in the box that are maybe Mo Salah's trademark goal. I don't even really know what you'd call a trademark goal.
As Barry says, he loves a toe poke finish, doesn't he? Through the keeper's legs. It's great. All credit to Darwin because, that's a big part of his game that's improved so far this season. Pressing the right areas and getting balls back. And he's reaping the rewards now because, he's heavily involved in all 3 goals. That's what you want with him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. And I mean, Mo loves scoring. He keeps going. I think he's up to what now? 10 goal involvements or something this season?
I think so. I think April last time he did have a goal involvement. Something stupid like that. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? You know,
The
it's just
beautiful thing about that goal was the fact that he checked back it, because you could tell they'd almost like, he's going to go on his left. He's going to go on his left. He went on his right and just done the two of them. It was a beautiful finish through the legs. But it was that willingness to go in on the right that done him. They didn't have a clue.
That's where I hope Ben Doak watched that, because before we equalised, Ben Doak got into a simple position. He skins the fullback, puts him on his arse. Perfect. But instead of then doing what you don't do, which is, get the cross off, I'm going to beat my man again. And I think, again, he's 17, as a youth thing to learn, but hopefully that's what he'll pick up from Mo Salah is when to do, you do that bit of skill, but then you finish it with either a cross or a shot. You don't need to beat him 3 times. And look, because he can beat everyone 3 times, that's great. It's just, that's the thing he'll learn as he gets more game time, which is when to do your skill and when to just trust your ability, because he's got plenty of it.
Yeah. I think Doak's, in terms of a debut start for Liverpool, it just, for me, really puts into perspective how well Jarell Kwanzaa played on the weekend in his first start for Liverpool. That today's game, you can look at Ben Doak's performance and go, that's a 17-year-old kid making his first start. That's the type of game that a 17-year-old kid is going to have making the start to their career. The game that Kwanzaa had on the weekend was like, all right. That's, Kwanzaa's 3 years older than Doak is, but a lot more responsibility playing at center half in a much changed defensive line. So that's absolutely fantastic. But it seems like he's going to get the run now. I wouldn't be surprised now if he started this game. I think Doak might just start every one of these Europa League games, and we can drip feed Mo Salah in there. I know he's going to want to play, Kev, but we got to give this kid some minutes, right?
Yeah, I think the way they're going to look at it is they'll manage the minutes of where we're playing. I think if we're playing at home, I wouldn't be surprised to see Salah start and get an hour. And maybe Doak play on the other side. I think they'll take each game with a view to what's going on at the weekend and maybe the following week. Take them in blocks of, almost take the games in blocks of 3. Say, look, bar the 2 centre halves, or maybe bar the centre halves, nobody's probably going to play all 3 games in a block, but everyone of the main players will have an involvement in the 3. League Cup aside, if you're talking playing Premier League, Europa League, Premier League, Europa League, say a block of 4 games like that, they'll probably look at it and say, okay, most players will have an involvement in 3 of those, be that off the bench or from the start. And they'll manage minutes that way. Because the one good thing about the group that we're in, there's not really massive traveling.
This is our furthest trip.
Yeah, that's it. And it's not like when we were in the Europa League for the last time around, where we were going to Rubin Kazan and all places like that. It's very manageable, these groups. So, and you'd expect there to be wholesale changes for the Leicester game, but again, West Ham at the weekend is going to get. I think that it's a massive game, depending on what West Ham do tonight, because West Ham look like they've gone fairly strong. So I think that tonight will benefit us an awful lot. So we'll see.
Yeah, in the end, it ends up being a fairly, I would say, routine victory for Liverpool, regardless of making wholesale changes to the starting lineup and going a goal down. It seems like going a goal down and coming back is just normal now. Yeah, don't rely on a lot.
It's not a good habit to get into, by the way. It's not. It's a nice thing to be able to do, and what have you. It's not something that we should be taking. Oh, we've gone 1 down. It's all well and good until we go 2 down in the game. And then you really got your work cut out, Got to sharpen up and start games faster and be more aggressive and be more accurate with our passing, get ahead in games and manage them properly. So it's great to be able to have that in the locker to say, yeah, you've got the fortitude to be able to come back in games, but it's not a good habit to be getting into.
No, it's, for me, the big thing is going into the international break, having Trent pull up with an injury and coming through our first 2 games back, because to me, the big question coming into the season was always going to be, how the hell are we playing this system without Trent there? Because he's so integral that the position is effectively built for him. He's the one that's doing the unique, bizarre thing that makes that formation its formation. And Bajcetic, I think that's an ample cameo. There might be, like you said, Kev, an opportunity there for him to make himself that backup for this season when Trent needs a blow. but we're getting the results. Poor first half against Wolves. Pretty lackluster first half in this game. Good second halves in both of those games, and we come away with the 3 points for both. We get off to a winning start in it. Chris, will come to you. Who did you like for man of the match?
Darwin.
Darwin.
I thought he's involved in all 3 goals. I thought he did the hold-up play well. On another day, could have a couple more. It was a standard phrase we said say for Darwin, but I just thought his all-round game was pretty decent. Probably shout out as well. Honourable mention to Harvey Elliott. I thought Harvey Elliott sort of grew into the game and did pretty well, but I'd give it to Darwin.
Kev, what about you?
Yeah, it's Darwin all day long, every day of the week, for exactly the same reasons as what Chris gave. It was an all-around number 9 performance. He got his goal. He was involved in everything. Had good chances. And that's all you want from a striker. Get good chances. You'll score more than what you miss. And on another day, he gets a hat-trick. Luis Diaz, I thought, was the honourable mention. Worked really hard, got his goal, took his goal really well, grew into the game. Better second half. Starting to trust himself a bit more. I still don't know if he believes his body is in the best possible shape. Still feel like he's not quite trusted himself completely.
You feel like he can go quicker, don't you?
I do.
Which is quite
I definitely think. I think he's in 4th gear, waiting to push the clutch to go into 5th. He needs to trust himself a bit more. But I thought he was really good. Ryan Gravenberch had patches. He was really good. Virgil looked solid as hell. Yeah. Keller had fuck all to do, so that's a bonus.
Well, his best save was offside, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was a really good save as well. It was a really good save.
A very nice Schmeichel starfish. Yeah, I think it's pretty consensus that Darwin's going to be your man of the match. I mean, to be involved in all the goals. I was going to say also, like Chris, honorable mention to Harvey Elliott. His versatility in the team, I think, is going to be one of his strongest assets this year, because it allows us to bring a forward off and he can bump up and play on the right wing. And then when Salah came onto the pitch, he dropped back into midfield, but played on the left side so that we could keep Szoboszlai on the right and not force Szoboszlai to play out of position. So, I mean, starting right mid, then playing right wing, then playing left mid, it's going to get him a lot of minutes. And like, his defensive acumen is there. He's snapping into it. He's making good plays going forward. So out of the senior man on a very young right-hand side for us to start the game, I think that came out very well. But I can't get over how good Virgil van Dijk looks, because it's unbelievably important for us to have just that rock of solidity at the back. Even if we have to just rotate who plays as his partner, just to make sure that Konate stays fit, that Matip stays fit, that Gomez keeps his head screwed on correctly, and that we develop Kwanzaa in the way that we want to develop him, it's all good. So, I mean, boys, that's a pretty good start to the Europa League. We're the early kickoff. Got the rest of the evening ahead. We can go watch the other second halves of the other games. Toulouse and Union Saint-Gilloise decide to have a draw in our group, so it's all in our hands. We win our first 4 games, and we top the group no matter what, and we can make crazy lineups for the final 2 group games.
Kev's getting run out for the 6th game at this rate.
Well, I was just looking at the other results in the group tonight that have come in. There's only one real, what you call, shock. It's not really a shock, but Panathinaikos beating Villarreal 2-0 at home. Or Panathinaikos are at home, but winning that 2-0 against the Spanish side that's been decent is a good result for them. Slavia Prague winning away against Servette, good result. Roma winning away against Sheriff. Bayer Leverkusen looked really good, apparently. 4-0 winners.
Karabakh winning, which is probably
Karabakh as well, yeah. Well, Karabakh winning against Molde, you're looking at them, both sides have been in Champions Leagues, been in and around this competition now for a while. So it's
Ajax Marseille's 2-2 as well, which would be interesting.
Yeah, there's some good games going on tonight, in fairness. There's some good sides still in this. Rangers are 0-0 still at the minute against Real Betis at home. West Ham 0-0. Freiburg are 1-0 up away against Olympiacos.
You said Villa lost in the early start in the Conference League?
Yeah, 3-2 they lost, which is a bit of a surprise.
Who were they playing?
I forgot about the Conference League, to be honest. Legia Warsaw.
Yeah.
And the other one is at Alkmaar, lost 4-3 away in that. Fiorentina drew 2-2 against Genk. Aberdeen lost 2-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Look, you wouldn't say there's massive shocks all around Europe. You'd have expected Villa to do better, going up, even going to Legia Warsaw, going away. you still expect Villa to be beating the side like that. But they got off
And
to
you
a
feel
horrible
like-
start and they were down.
Yeah, you feel like
Yeah.
Brighton have to win. You feel like Brighton need the win tonight, really. Don't you?
Yeah, just to build that confidence. This is all brand new to them.
Yeah. And any big takeaways from the Champions League from the last 2 days, Chris?
I can't work out if United were shite, but I can't work out were Bayern actually really that good, or Bayern also a bit shit. Because in some ways I'm going, well, Bayern could have had 4 or 5 quite comfortably, but I'm also thinking United could have probably scored more than the 3 we did because Bayern were just a bit wildly wide open. Although I watched that, it was just a bit of an odd game. I didn't really see many of the other games. I saw bits of the PSG game. I saw City came from 1-0 down, beat the side quite comfortably. Arsenal a pretty routine win, but I think I'd expect most English sides to beat PSV at home. And PSV have lost 2 of their bigger names since they qualified. So I think Kev called it last night. PSV just feel like they're just happy to be there. That's pretty much it. So all in all, yeah, nothing really exciting. Probably Real Madrid getting a last-minute winner was...
Nothing really exciting. Kev, did you see Lazio's goalie score with the last game?
Oh, forgot about
that.
Lazio's keeper scored. What a run. What a run. What a header. Apparently, he played up front. He was a striker. Up until he turned about 15, he played up front in youth football. And then he just, I'm not going to make it as a striker, so I'll be a goalkeeper. And all credit to him. It was a brilliant run. But to see at the end of it, everyone run on the pitch, massive celebrations, and that shithouse Diego Simeone running around like this, looking for yellow cards for players that went onto the fuck off. Fucking gimp. Can't stand him. Absolutely can't stand him. He's an absolute parasite of football. Hate everything about it.
He's a total killjoy. Just like his demeanor and the way he sets his team up to play football is just to suck joy and happiness out of the sport and the people that support it.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that with Sam Allardyce when Alisson scores the winner. That's the one time where you can sort of go as a manager, go, it's mad in it football. Keep a score. Who'd have saw that? But no, he was being a Debbie Downer. Don't think it was a corner. Oh, fuck off, lads. It's like, get over it.
Hayden Collins coming in for late updates.
It's mental. It's like I watched Newcastle. I was bored. I was watching them, and I thought, you've signed Milan's best midfielder, and he's absolutely poxy for you. You know, he doesn't want to be there, and you can tell a mile off that he'll be back in Italy in 2 years. Newcastle don't have the squad depth for two competitions. They might get out of the group. If they don't get out of the group, they'll get into the Europa League and have to play in February. But I think they'll suffer in the league for it. They've done well to qualify for the Champions League, but let's not kid ourselves. They're in the Champions League because we were shite and Chelsea was shite.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only reason they got in. And the same for Manchester United. They're fucking shite as well, let's be honest. You know, at the end of the day, Bayern were half asleep and they should have won that 5 or 6. You know, and Bayern were poor.
Question for you, Kev. I don't think it'll happen. If Man United lose to Burnley on Saturday, how much longer has Ten Hag got? Because I don't think when was the last time United ever lost 5 games in a row?
They should be having conversation. They should be having conversations with Julian Nagelsmann now.
Isn't he getting the German job?
Don't know, but if I'm Manchester United, I'm getting in there before he takes a Germany job. Whether he's a success there or not, I don't know. The problems Manchester United have got off the pitch as well as on it are disastrous. The thing is, they've got 12 injuries, and you know, between players out of form and out of favour for various reasons that we can't go into. Then couple that with the fact that he's alienated half of his squad, and there's massive infighting going on there. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Long may it continue.
Listen, if you lot think I don't like Simicast, just if Nagelsmann ever comes to the Premier League, look out. That's the one manager I really cannot stand. More than you dislike Diego Simeone. I just can't bear the man.
Yeah, I mean, Thor the dyslexic polyglot has another idea, which is Graham Potter to Man United, just stealing him right out from underneath Everton's nose.
Which is more of a basket case?
Oh man, that's a tough call.
Which is more of a basket?
Genuinely, it's a seriously tough call.
For different reasons, they're both basket cases of clubs.
Yeah.
You know, oh God.
But they're
You know,
both absolutely a joy to take in as a Liverpool fan, aren't they?
they are this year because we're actually playing quite well. I couldn't enjoy them being annoying last year, like Everton being rubbish, because
You gotta learn to multitask, Chris. You can be disappointed in Liverpool and still laugh.
Oh no! If Liverpool haven't won, I mostly think I couldn't care about that. I need my
In
team to.
In fairness, I was like that last year. If Liverpool lost, or when we
care less
lost last year, I just match of the day didn't get recorded, didn't get watched. Stayed off social media. Couldn't be arsed with talking to anyone. I'd come on and do the shows, and that was it. It was like, fuck off. I hate football.
Just sitting ripping pages out of your Panini sticker book with the Smiths playing in the background, all the curtains drawn.
Oh, shit, man. I'm going to find where you put that camera in my house. I swear. I'm going to find it one day.
That's the only time Kev used to speak to me was we just speak in the post-match shows. Go out. We're not talking football again. Speak in a week. That was it.
What a difference a year makes, boys. I think Liverpool we look strong. We were having a little chat in the Telegram earlier. Just mentioned to somebody, I think this might be the strongest squad that Jurgen Klopp's had in his time at Liverpool.
I don't know.
Ooh, no, I don't know. I don't agree.
I think this has got this. I think this squad has the most potential. Yeah. I think there's serious potential in this squad over the next 2 to 3 years.
I still think the squad that went for all 4 trophies probably had a bit more depth. Especially, well, you think of the attack. We had the famous front 3. We had Diaz and Origi and Minamino were just occasionally on the bench. You know, midfield depth. We also had Keita fit for a season, which was a novelty. So
yeah,
I still think that was
fit.
Matip fully fit. Gomez was in and around it. Karate was fully fit for most of the season. You know, Simicast was, probably more effective. Yeah. So I would still probably say that one was the strongest, but I agree with Kev. This one's got the potential to kick on with that one, which would be lovely.
Yeah, you can see what Jurgen is talking about in his press conferences when he's talking about how he's excited about the potential that this squad could be something. He's not giving them like the big heave or whatever. He's saying he's just saying what is the potential is there for them to make a legacy for themselves. I just hope that the club can do a deal with Mo to offer him a rolling 12-month contract and protect the club first and foremost, but to get the buy-in from the player as well.
You have a chat every January. Say, right, Mo, are you staying next season? Yes or no? If he says no, you go, great, that's fine. We won't extend your contract. I guarantee we'll agree a deal for you to go somewhere. If he says yes, you extend it and you're safe. It keeps everyone happy then.
Yeah. I don't see it. There's nothing that indicates to me that he wants to leave Liverpool. And if the season continues going the way that it's going, we finish on 112 points and win everything. Mo Salah's going to be a happy man, and he'll be more than happy to sign that contract extension, which I think they will offer him.
I still think he wants one more crack at the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Mate, I think a lot of these players who didn't go are looking at what is going on with the players that did go and realize that Mansfield and Morecambe are getting more in their grounds than whatever EFAC.
Yeah. And they almost had 1,000 people.
That tells you where you are. Mate, we get that for the under 18s.
I know. Apparently the Saudi Pro League is included in a DAZN subscription here in Canada. And while I was waiting for our game to come on, there was a Saudi Pro League game on. I couldn't be bothered. I'm not going to give it any attention. I don't care about it. It's a mean-nothing league, and good on those players for going there and getting their money. I don't care about you as footballers anymore.
I'd rather watch the MLS, because actually the MLS games are actually more competitive, more exciting.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't say that about the MLS years ago, to be fair, but actually the MLS games are
I'd still go out of my way to watch Messi now.
Yeah.
Because we're lucky in our lifetime to have a player like Messi playing and still playing. I mean, you don't see these players come along in a generation. You don't see these players. These players. We had it with Ronaldo as well, Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Let's be honest. Let's be fair. They pushed each other to be the best versions of themselves that they could possibly be. You have to go back a long, long way to see consistent levels of excellence that you've seen out of Leo Messi. To still be able to see him, to still be able to do it. Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's just about enough for us. I don't believe we have any other shows coming on the channel until I'm not sure who's joining me, but until we meet again on
Probably.
Sunday.
I think it's us two again. I think it's the three of us again.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. So the
More
Merry
than
Band of
likely.
Gentlemen, hopefully we're back here in just as high a spirits. So kickoff is 2 p.m. At Anfield on Sunday. We'll be here however much added time the refs decide to add on to the end of the game as quickly as we
26.
can for full-time
26.
Reds. Yeah,
26.
exactly. So finishes last one, Liverpool 3 points in the bag, first Europa League game of the season. It's our 6th full-time Reds of the season. I'm looking forward to doing 63 of these this year. We're playing every game we're playing this year. And I hope you guys are all here to join us. Please hit the like button on your way out on YouTube, listening afterwards on a podcast, please. 5-star review, write a recommendation or comment, share it with your friends. Check out on the LFC Daytrippers social media page. You'll see the pin for our charity that we're working with. The 12 women getting ready to run that Dublin Marathon, weeks away, days away even. It's getting close, and they're getting close to their fundraising target. So if you can help us out with that, that would be absolutely fantastic because they've been working so very hard at it. Until the next time, we'll see you guys later on Full Time Reds. Bye-bye.